those of you that are joining us, if you haven't heard of San Bernardino County Workforce Development, that's who is bringing this to you. So this workshop is provided by them to help train and educate businesses in things that they've asked for. And so a lot of businesses ask for how they can do a better job using Instagram stories to make their businesses more successful. And so San Bernardino County Workforce Development has put this program together for you. They also have tons of other products and services that they do to help businesses in San Bernardino County. So if you have a business that operates in San Bernardino County, you definitely want to reach out to San Bernardino County Workforce Development. One of the things that I know that has been a big benefit, I'm going to introduce myself in a minute, but I am the president of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. I'm also connected with a lot of businesses here locally. So one of the things that they benefit the most is from a program called On-the-Job Training. And so basically the On-the-Job Training program is they fund an employee to get trained at your business, and they pay half of those employees' wages while they get trained. And it's a significant amount of income for those businesses who are looking to hire somebody, looking for some financial support to bring them in, and then train a new employee to get the skills that they need in order to operate and function at a high capacity at your business. So I definitely want to encourage you, if you're thinking about hiring an employee or looking into it, you definitely want to reach out to San Bernardino County Workforce Development because they can give you significant funds for that. Another program that they have is a program that it's a, what do you want to call it, like a workforce, a layoff aversion type program. So if you have a business that has 10 or more employees that lives in San Bernardino County, the purpose of the program is to stimulate job growth and make sure you're not laying off employees. So you can have a business consultants come in and work with you and your business to just kind of make sure that you're doing things the way that you should and make sure that you're continuing to grow so you can continue to hire more employees and build a stronger workforce in San Bernardino County. So that's definitely something else you want to do, is just reach out to San Bernardino County Workforce Development. They do a fantastic job. They've got great people, do great programs, and this is one of those programs that they've put together for you. So I highly encourage you to check them out. If you didn't know about them already, and that's why you're here today, if you are here today because of them, you know that that's what they do, but you definitely want to make sure that you have that one-on-one contact with them to figure out all of the things that you might be able to take advantage of, because these are your taxpayer dollars and they're working to help you and support your business and make sure your business can grow. So definitely take advantage of that. With that, I'm going to get started. So that today, what I have in mind is this is going to be very hands-on today. So let me answer some of those things that come through the chat. So what I'm going to try to do, this is a webinar, so it's going to be a lot of back and forth. So as the chat goes through, I'll just kind of address some of these things and mention what we're talking about later. So Marilyn asked a question about analytics. Particularly, I wonder why sometimes the second post has more views than the first on an Instagram story, when everyone should be seeing the first story before getting to the second. That's a great question. We'll try to cover that as we go through it. And feel free, this is a group kind of communal thing. So if you see a question that pops up and you have an answer to that question, feel free to chime in as well. Ramesh asks, will I be getting a recording of this webinar later on? And absolutely, so we are recording this. I will definitely make sure that it's available for anybody who's looking at it afterwards. But this is going to be very hands-on, so I'm going to have you doing stuff. So do me a favor in the chat section, if you're interested, we're going to be doing actual posting of Instagram stories. So type in, if you're in, to doing this hands-on activity work where we're going to be connecting together on Instagram through Instagram stories and doing it that way. So type in if you're in for doing this with us. All right. Thank you, Angel. Marilyn, we're set. All right. Wonderful. Jim, good to see you. Eileen, Aaron. All right. Love it. So what you need to have to do is make sure you have your phone. I'm hopefully going to be showing you the screen, my phone screen on your screens. So I'm going to literally walk you through everything that we're doing, and just going to be assignments. So I'm going to have you do an assignment. We're going to be able to connect and network with each other through Instagram. So if you have a business profile or a personal profile, either one, I'm going to be showing you my personal profile. I'm going to be using that one in this experience, but it's just as viable for your business profile as well. So that's what we'll be working on. So let's do that. Before I do that, though, what I want to show you is the next slide in this, which is here. So this is what I want to do. So to make sure that we're all in the same chat and the same discussion, when you're posting things, you want to make sure that you use this hashtag. So it stands for San Bernardino County Workforce Development. So hashtag SBCWD. So whenever you're posting an Instagram story, and that's what we're going to be doing today, I want you to make sure you use that hashtag. Does anybody have any questions about how to use a hashtag, how to make sure we're using it when we're doing these postings? And I'm gonna show you to it just to demonstrate for it, but I just want to make sure there aren't any questions about that. Okay, cool. So here we go. I'm gonna try to get my phone going for you. Okay, so do me a favor. Also tell me if you can see my screen right now, my phone screen. Can you see it? Okay, perfect. So Aaron can see it. Okay, fantastic. All right, so this is working. And let me ask you another question, because I'm not sure how it shows up on your screen. Is it just my phone screen that you can see, or can you see my face? Can you see any of my desktop? Can you see the multiple things on there, or is it just my cell phone screen? Phone and your feed. Phone and your face. Phone and screen. Okay. Okay, cool. Sounds great. Then we'll get going with this. So this is my Instagram page. And like I mentioned, I'm going through my personal. So we're going to be doing this together and working on it together. In the top left corner, you'll see up there, it's a picture of my face with my son, right in the, very top left, right next to where it says 1,050 posts. So that's how you post the Instagram stories when you're posting the stories. So what I'd like us to do, this is for experimental purposes, is so this is what pops up if you hit that button. It looks just like this. And so what I'm going to have you do is make sure that you, so I'm going to do the recording here, and this is what I'd like you to do is introduce yourself. Say, hi, my name is, and I'm with whatever organization you're with, or what business you're representing. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So I'm going to do it first, and then we can go from there. And I'm going to record this. You don't have to record your face if you don't want to. If you feel more comfortable doing it in text, I'll show you how to do that in a second too. So I'll do the video version first for those of you that are comfortable doing that. Hi, my name is Zeb Wellborn. I am the president of Wellborn Media and president of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. And I'm excited to be presenting on sharing Instagram stories to promote your business. Okay. So I recorded that, I held that little button, I was able to talk to the screen, and now I'm going to, up there, and if you saw that button right there, it's like the square looking thing that looks like a sticker that's being moved up right in the middle of the screen there. So you push that, and I'm going to, when I mentioned the hashtags earlier, using the hashtags, so you'll see right there, that very top right is the hashtag. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to put hashtag San Bernardino County Workforce Development. And so that's the tag. So you can put it anywhere. And in this thing, I'm moving it with my thumb. So my thumb, I can move it around wherever I want. So I'm going to put it right here by the microphone. And then I'm going to send it. And I'm going to share my story. So the very top one, it says your story and Facebook story. You can remove it so that it only shows up to your Instagram story. But whenever I post something, I do it to both my Instagram and my Facebook. So I'm going to hit that share button up there. Obviously, you can play with those and send it to different folks. So I'm going to hit the share button. Okay, so that's how you would do it. So let's see, a question came in about, is it the same for business accounts? I know they have different features. What I can do is I can go through the business accounts as well. So we can toy with those. So I'm going to show you from the personal, but I'll move to the business accounts. There are a couple of different features which I will highlight, but essentially it's the same thing. Jim G says, when I tried to send to hashtag SBCWD, it shows Russian. Jim, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure how to help you. If you follow the steps in here and you do the hashtag, because you're not sending it to hashtag SBCWD, you're putting the hashtag in your post. And so when you're putting it in there, you're not sending it to somebody. So let me show you how to do the text version of this as well. So here's the screen again. I'm going to close this. And then, so if you want to do multiple posts, so this is the first story, the same thing. In the upper left-hand corner, you're going to see my picture with my son up there again. So I'm going to click on that again. And here, in this case, I can do type. So if you're not comfortable being in, saying hi yourself, this is where you could type it. You say, Zeb Wellborn, President of Chino Valley Chamber and Wellborn Media. And then you want to include the hashtag to make sure that it all goes in there. It's the same thing at the very top here. You're hitting that hashtag button. Hashtag SBC, San Bernardino County Workforce Development. I'm going to put that right below. And the cool thing about the text feature in there is you can make all sorts of changes to the background, to the type of text, to the way it looks. If you touch on the screen, you can adjust the kind of the formatting of it. So like if I wanted to change the hashtag and move it around a little bit, make it smaller, make it bigger, you can do all of those things just by using your fingers to tap it in there. So I'm going to send this one too. So that would be how you post, and there's a lot of different features. And what the plan for today is I want us to go through and experiment with all of the features. This is going to be really a chance to experiment, to feel free about it. One of the things, so when the stories feature came out, it came from Snapchat. Snapchat was it still is a very prominent social media platform. And they would post these stories that would, and basically their platform was they would post stories that would not stay on the internet forever. So when you post on Facebook or when you post on Instagram or you post on these other platforms, you're posting something and that content stays forever, which in some cases, especially if you're a kid and you post crazy, weird stuff, and then you grow up and you try to land a job and they look back at your past when you were posting things that you probably shouldn't have been posting when you were young and not as intelligent, that you wouldn't have an issue with that. And so that was kind of the idea behind Snapchat, is these 24-hour stories that would stay on your feed for 24 hours and then they disappear forever. So Instagram was actually going to buy Snapchat. They talked about buying Snapchat. They didn't end up buying it. And so basically they copied it. I think Snapchat turned them down. And so they ended up copying that feature, the stories feature in Instagram. And oftentimes I get the question, well, like, why would I post Instagram stories? Why can't I just post it to my regular feed? And so the difference between stories and feed, if you're looking at my cell phone screen, is the feed is those pictures down at the bottom. And those are the pictures that stay there forever. The ones where if you click on my picture, and I'll just show you, just demonstrate again. If you click on my picture where it has that rainbow looking circle around it, so I'm clicking on it. This is where the stories features pops up. And so it shows you the different stories that have been created based off of what I've posted. So the first one, obviously, we recorded, and then the second one that comes up there. So that's the difference between the two. Now, those stories only stay on my profile for 24 hours, but I'll show you a way that you can make them stay for longer if you want to. And the key kind of benefit is for that, for multiple reasons, is that the Instagram news feed, as more, and this is the same thing with all social media channels, as more and more people start to use it, it reaches less and less people, because what Instagram wants to do is they want to show you the most relevant content and the things, and with everybody posting, it becomes very difficult to show everything. So they've got to choose, and the way that they choose how to determine who sees what is those posts that get the most engagement. So the Instagram feed has been kind of oversaturated, you would say. And so then what ends up happening is when you post something on your Instagram feed, it's reaching less and less people. So they added the stories feature. Move those. Sorry. They added the stories feature, and the stories feature, it has those 24-hour videos. So there's a couple of reasons why they have it in there, and why you would want to use it for your business. Number one, it's a real easy way to stay top of mind with people. When people start watching your stories, if they continue to watch your stories, what you'll see is the stories, the people's whose stories you follow most closely will be the ones that are prominent in your newsfeed. So you always kind of see what's happening with those people that you care about the most. And Instagram kind of knows that, because you tend to watch those stories from people who are posting things that you care about the most. And so you're staying top of mind with your audience. You also want to consider doing Instagram stories, because you don't have to be as carefully crafted in your posts as you would with your feed. So you can kind of do off the cuff stuff. You can experiment just like we're doing today. This is a totally cool thing because it doesn't stay there forever. Another reason why a business would want to focus on stories is because a lot of really high quality Instagram accounts is they have a very similar theme to their feed. So like if you look at the and I'll show you Coca-Cola as an example. So if you look at their feed, they kind of like connect with each other. If you notice that, they kind of connect with each other. And this is all, branding and marketing and that kind of stuff. And so when you look at their feed as an overall, it kind of is very similar to each other, and it has that nice aesthetic look when you're looking at their feed. So if these nice Instagram profiles that people set up, there's some kind of theme or branding or some kind of element that goes through all of those posts. And when you add these things like behind the scenes type stuff, it doesn't really fit with that feed that these people have going. So they will use the stories feature to kind of show the behind the scenes stuff. So let me go back to my profile here. So if you're looking at my feed, just to kind of show you a little bit, this is who shows up. So the people that are at the top there, those are the stories that I'm kind of following the most. So I get these updates from people, and the people that I follow the most are the ones that are going to be up front there. And so if you're posting stories, and the way that you show up in those is because you're posting stories regularly. So those are the things that people watch and follow, and then you get moved up to the left. So all of these people, if I'm going to scroll to the right here, you're going to see all of these different folks that I have that are posting stories inside of Instagram that I am following on Instagram. And so it goes on for quite a ways. You can see that, but the ones that you'll see is shown at the top. So it's just another way to stay in front of your family, friends, your audience, your target market, whatever you want to say. So let's go back. Give me 1 second here. Does anybody have any questions like the why of Instagram? Like, why should a business be focused on Instagram? Did I answer that question thoroughly? Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay, so I'm going to go on, and what we're going to focus on is now I'm going to show you how to follow that hashtag. And there's two different ways that we can go about checking out that hashtag to see if anybody posted things. So I want to give you a little bit of time to see if you made any of those posts so far, introducing yourselves to our group. So here we go. This is what it looks like. So here's way number one. In the search feature, I'm going to type in hashtag SC. SBC, BCWD. So I'm going to see if anybody is posted on there. So we typed in the hashtag that we asked you all to use, SBCWD. I typed it here in the search bar, and we did the search. Now, if you look, you're going to see the top and the recent. So these are all posts that I had done. I've spoken with San Bernardino County Workforce Development several times. So when I do, I try to use that hashtag. Okay, let's try it another way. Maybe it just hasn't registered yet. So on my profile, I'm going to click on the hashtag, see hashtag. Oh man. You know what? I tried this out the other day and it worked just fine. It might take a few minutes and potentially. So in theory, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to click on the hashtag. You see the hashtag there. We'll see it. And then here on the side, it shows the posts that have been in the feed that have used that hashtag. And then you'll see the picture of me and Ron Stark up in the upper left-hand corner there. That is where all of the posts that say hashtag SBCWD are supposed to be showing up. And so let me just show you another example of one where we'll do this the right way. So the search feature is down there at the bottom, the little magnifying glass. So if you're looking for things, so we'll do hashtag golf just to do an easy one that I know they'll have lots of posts on. So you're going to see the feed of all of the golfers. Here's the top post that you'll see. In the upper left-hand corner will be the hashtags that people use that hashtag golf. And that's when you click on. And these are all of the recent stories that have come out using the hashtag golf from the different folks. And that's what is supposed to happen when you do the hashtag posting. So my posts in that SBCWD should be showing up in that sorry, in that feature. So let's try one more time. Let's try another avenue. Let's try this. In the comments section, in the chat section, let's all try to follow each other and collaborate with each other on this. So in the chat section, let's put your Instagram handle that you're going to be using to do your sample posts. So if you have your Instagram handle, let's tag it in the chat. And then everybody who's getting involved and following along, we can all follow along with each other and follow those people's posts. So thank you, A. Castruita. We'll make sure we do that. And so this is how you would follow somebody, just so you know. We're going to do the A, and it looked like underscore Castruita. Angel. So this is Angel Castruita. I'm going to follow Angel. And he followed me, so we're doing the follow back. Oh, one other thing I want to add is that when we're doing these posts, so I imagine that they are going to show up later. What we can do is you can follow those posts that we're doing it. We can do a normal feed post. And actually, maybe we should do that just to get started. Let's do a normal feed post and say that we're going to be posting about that we're doing a course on doing Instagram stories. And then we're going to be sharing that. Here, I'll just do a sample for you. And maybe we can do it this way. So I'm going to go to my homepage. I'm going to type in the middle of the screen, down there at the bottom is the post button. I'm going to click the post button. Sorry. Oh, I wanted to take a picture. So in the upper left-hand corner, you can bring up your camera. I'm going to take a quick picture real quick. And I'm going to post this on my feed. Okay, I'm just going to go to my camera and take the quick photo. Then go to my feed here. Okay. About stories. A webinar with Hashtag. So this is what I'm typing is I'm talking about Instagram stories on a webinar with SBCWD. So make sure you use the hashtag when you're writing the post. I'm gonna hit OK. And when you're posting yours, you can write it out a little bit more thoroughly, using other hashtags to get some other people participating as well. I'm here at the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce, so I'm going to tag the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to put it on Facebook. I'm going to put it on Instagram, and I'm going to put it on Twitter. Share that one. So let's see if that's showing up back at the feed like we thought it would. Okay. So let's do that on your, let's do a feed post, and then hopefully those things will show up on your actual Instagram. So at least we'll get an idea of those that are participating today. And like I mentioned, up at the top is supposed to be that button. When you click it, it does show the stories that pop out. But for some reason that's not right now. Maybe it's, oh, it could be for a variety of different reasons. So let's do that. So there's two different ways we can connect with each other. You do a normal feed post. You don't have to do a picture of your face. Like I said, take a picture of me on the screen. Say, hey, I'm attending a training on how to do Instagram stories. And then use the hashtag SBCWD. And so we can all start participating with each other, because the whole point of this is to get you familiarized, used to using Instagram stories, while also at the same time connecting with other business owners and other leaders in our community, or other marketing professionals, to make sure that you have some other resources of people who are experimenting and doing Instagram stories as well. So do me a favor, to take some time, create a post, could be whatever you want. Use the hashtag. The important thing though is just using the hashtag SBCWD. And then after that, we can put it on our, we can try doing the feed posts. So I'm gonna give you guys about 2 minutes to make that happen. And yes, I will make sure that a recording is available when we're all said and done. And currently we have 21 folks that are participating. So we should be seeing 21 posts coming into that hashtag SBCWD in just a minute here. And so I had A. Castrita started following me. Christy McSherry started following me. I'm assuming you guys are both involved in here. And feel free to follow myself at Zeb Wellborn. Okay, so we've got some of those coming in, so that's good. So we have Pampered Chef. So Gina's Pampered Chef. Gina, I'm going to follow you. So I'm clicking on her post inside that hashtag SBCWD. I'm going to follow her. We're going to go to A. Castrita as well. I'm already following him. So he's attending the training. That looks like a pretty cool photo. I wonder where you're, are you there right now, Angel? That's a cool picture. Okay, good. So as we're doing that, actually, I think that's what we'll do. Let's just wait about 2 or 3 minutes. Give people time to create that first post, add it in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at their stories to see how well. So Angel's story, I clicked on Angel's profile. Up there in his upper left is his face and profile pic. So I'm going to click on that. And you can see that he's using the hashtag SBCWD, a nice sunrise picture there. And that he was ready for a ride. So it looks like he is out there in a nice place at Millerton Lake. Well, thank you for joining us out there. The other one, our Pampered Chef. Let's go to Gina's profile. Gina doesn't look like she's used the Instagram story feature yet. So if she did, what you would see on her profile is that red circle that goes around her profile picture there. And let's see, let's go back to our feed because it says we've got some more. Perfect. Here's another one from Hitched for Fun. I'm going to follow Hitched for Fun, which is a nice little video Looks like at a recent showroom that they were at. I wonder if they're there now too. People are doing lots of cool things today. So Gail did it. Oh, then the one thing that I forgot to mention was that in your Instagram profile account is it has to be public. So if you're posting things with a hashtag and your profile is not public, that might be why we can't see it. So if you have posted things, you got to make sure that your profile is set to public. Oh, Aaron posted. No, this was last weekend. They had a booth at the Pomona Gold Show. Cool. So I'm going to show you how to make sure that it's public versus private. So here, if you go to your settings, so let me walk you through how to go to your settings. You're clicking on that three little hamburger thing up in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to settings at the very top. You're going to privacy. And then make sure your account privacy is set to public. So you want to make sure that that's off. We want it to be public, so some people might have it on private. Okay, Mitch, thank you for posting. Let's go back to our hashtag. Actually, let's take a look at his for funds profile, see if they did a. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I think when I rub up against the mic, the USB, it kind of untangles, and so I just got to be cognizant of that. Peekaboo, thank you. How to use IG stories, perfect. So I'm going to follow you. Okay. I'm hoping that at some point those stories will come into play and then they'll pop up there. But anyways, I think we'll kind of get the point. We'll go through it together. The easy thing for us to do to follow each other and see what each other is posting, because I did want this to be interactive and I did want us to engage with each other, would be to take a look at the people that have posted those profile pics. And I'm going to go into the HR Solution Services as an example. You go up to their profile pic. You click up there, and then those ones that do have that circle around the ring up there in the upper left-hand corner, she doesn't yet. Those are the ones that you want to click on and post. Let's try Peekaboo, see if she's created. So she's created one. In the upper left-hand corner is her Instagram story. I'm going to click on that, and she didn't use the hashtag there. Let me do one that did the hashtag. Let's try Gail. No story yet. Let's do Anthesis or Inez. There you go. Perfect. So they did the Instagram story post. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. You take the nice picture, you use the hashtag SBCWD, and then we're involved in the conversation. We can kind of follow along with each other. And then hopefully those things actually do show up in the hashtags like they're supposed to. And things never work out the way you intend them always, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through each of the little features that you can do, because the way that you build a following on your social media channels is to get people to is to post engaging content. So all the social media platforms, they all value that engagement, because what I'll show you just this is what happens when people look through their feed, right? They're looking here. That's a terrible picture, but they're looking through their feed and then they're scrolling, right? They're scrolling until they find something that stops them and says, oh, that's something that looks cool, unique, or interesting, or whatever. Or it's the face that they recognize. You know, this is my my sister-in-law. So you see those face. So what I was saying was at the top, when you're looking at the stories, you're following the people. And so those are the people's posts that you're interested in looking at, or the company, the business or the company. And so that's where you're looking at those posts that show up at the top there, and to follow what people are doing. So here's an example of one of the companies. This is a company that my roommate started about 10 years ago, and that has been doing really well. So they post tons of stuff on their Instagram stories. And so you'll just see those types of things here. They're tagging people, they're using hashtags, they're adding lots of content, they're showing videos, They're showing people that are using their stuff. And so I'm going to be walking you through how to do all of these things when you're posting your Instagram stuff for your business. Okay. So I will follow Ramesh. I will make sure that I follow that. And we're going to be going back and forth into checking out our hashtag and doing the actual examples of posts. So we're going to do a sample here. So I'm going to walk you through the series of 4 of these different posts. And then what I'm going to do is ask you to post one of those to your story. So let's go and try this now. So I'm going to go hit my home button. I'm going to go to my story in the upper left. You see me there. I'm going to click on my profile with that plus sign next to it. I'm going to click on that. So here's the first 4 that we'll do. This is live on Instagram, so you can post this live. Now, from my understanding, and when you're doing these live videos, I have 44 followers that are active on Instagram right now that are following my account. So when I post this, it notifies them. But when it's done, it disappears. So it's totally gone from Instagram. So they'll see the live, they'll get an announcement, they'll do it live. And so that's a way that you can post video content so that people can see it. So that's number 1. Number 2 is you can create text or text examples here and add something, whatever, I mean, anything that you would want, but you can use text and you can say an example. One of the things, let's see. Okay, no more mic. Maybe it might sound a little blurrier, but it all sounds good, yes? All right, thank you guys for keeping me on track here. So you can add that, you can add the text, add anything you want in here. I'm going to go through those buttons at the top because that's how you would add information about different things. So the top button changes the color, like I pointed this circle one. The one next to it can save that post for you. The one next to that will be including a link. So if you have any Instagram and the links, so you have to have 10,000 followers before you can link your posts. So it's like if you want to include a link in your post where people can actually click on it and hit that swipe up type thing, you have to have 10,000 followers plus. So it's not available for everyone, but what you can do is you can link to your Instagram TV video. So if I clicked on that, I do have an Instagram TV video. If I want to have people click on something, I can have them include that link to the TV video, and then it says call to action added. So it'll have that swipe up feature and it swipes up to my Instagram TV, which is that video. The next button over pulls up this feature, and this is the one where I spend most of the time using inside of Instagram stories. You always want to include your location. I shouldn't say always, but strategically, you should try to include your location if it makes sense. So as a Chamber of Commerce, the person who runs the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce, whenever I'm at a chamber of business, whenever I'm at a location around town, whenever I'm with a potential customer, client, whatever it is, I'm using the location. And so basically you type the location and it automatically populates where you're at. So I'm here at the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. So I'm going to click that. So it adds that tag there, that location tag. I'll move that down to the bottom. And you can keep going back and forth to add different things. So I can mention people. So let me add that. Go back to the top there. I'm going to use the mention. So I'm going to go back to Angel because I remember his name. Castreza. So I'm tagging Angel. So Angel, who's participating in our webinar today, I am now tagging him. So when I post this, it gets notified to him. So tagging people, if you're taking pictures with somebody, or if you're at their business, or if you're connected with them, or whatever it might be. Let's say you're going after Coca-Cola as a potential client. You tag Coca-Cola, and you can put them in your posts as well. Hashtags. Obviously, we're going to be doing the SBCWD. So we're going to include that in there. And then if you touch them also, it kind of gives you different options of what they kind of look like. There's lots of different ways that you can play around with these things. I'm just giving you a few examples. A GIF, for those of you that are GIF enthusiasts, we can talk about Let's see if they have anything for San Bernardino County. We'll say I love the IE. So that's a GIF. I'm going to make it bigger by moving my fingers across it. They have music, so you can embed music. I don't want to mess with that because some of the music has some lyrics that you might not want to include. But if you touch on it, it'll give you some options of music and things that you can include into your posts. It has a timestamp if you want to include the time. Now it's 10:44. We can do a poll, ask questions. We can type in those questions here. And I'm going to show you another way to do that in a second. I'm going to throw that. And then if you put something on there that you don't want, you can always throw it down there in the trash, which is just by touching it with your finger, moving it down to the trash. You can ask questions, do a countdown, do those kind of slider things. There's all sorts of stuff, also sorts of other features, but those are the main ones. And so I want to point you those. So whenever you're posting, you can include those things on anything in here. And that's kind of a big difference between the stories feature and posting it into your feed. Is in your feed, it's really not, people don't really usually post those things inside of their feed, but you're encouraged to inside of your stories. And so if you're posting on your feed, you don't usually use this stuff. When you're posting on your stories, you do. And then you can, that scribble button that's right next to it, you can add some scribbles. Let's just say I wanted to do that there. So you can add sorts of stuff. You can change the colors there. And you can lastly add text here. So I'll say hi. So this is an example of ways that you can do a normal text post, some of the types of things that you can add in there to make your stuff more lively, more engaging, and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'm going to send that one too. I hit the send button to my story, hit share. And now that's up again. How do I add to my story? So Priscilla asks, how do I add to my story? So we'll go through that again, and then we're going to give you the 4 examples, and I'm going to give you that assignment. So you click on your story, just like I did there. You click on your profile picture, which is in the upper right-hand corner where there's a little plus sign down in the bottom right of that, your profile picture. So clicking on that, and that takes you back to where you can add another feature of your story. So that's so far we've gone through the live, we've gone through the create, we've gone through a normal post, and I'll show you inside the normal post, you can add a face filter. I don't know if you want to do this for your business, but if you want to add some entertainment or some excitement or some kind of differentiating things on you, I'll just show you what that looks like. So I'm sure all of you have played with these features at some point or another with your phones, but you can go for the cool look, go for the dog look. Go for the glitter look, whatever you're thinking would be a fun thing to do. And so I'm just gonna do the first one here because it makes me look cool. And then I'll go with that, snap the picture. And then I'm gonna do my hashtag. So I'm clicking that sticker button. I'm hitting the hashtag SBC, oh, wrong one. San Bernardino County Workforce Development. Adding that as the hashtag, send to your story, done. Let's go back and try one more. So that's the normal post. So we're gonna go back to your story, back to that little screen up in the upper left-hand corner, and we're gonna do a boomerang. Let's see. I'll do the thumbs up sign, and okay, there we go. So that's so normally I would probably cater these a little bit more, but we're trying to be quick here. So yeah, I did a little boomerang there, which is a video that kind of repeats, goes on a loop. And we're going to do the hashtag again, SBCWD. I'm going to hit send. Your story. Done. So those are the first 4. I would like to encourage you to experiment with one of those. And what I'm going to do is, and I encourage all of you to do this, is to connect with everybody else who's also doing those stories. So on our feed, let's go back to our feed here. SBCWD. And make sure it's awesome. So we have some more posts that have came in, which is fantastic. Means we're participating. Angel has a question. Says Android versus Apple adding to stories. There's a bit of a difference. Now I apologize because I don't. That's one of the things where these different providers or different cell phones companies, whatever it is, they are different. And that's one of the things where there's always that kind of hurdle is figuring out how to use that one in the same way. Some of the features you can't even, they don't even have the same features. But I know that there is a way to include multiple stories on your Android. I can't show that to you because I obviously don't have an Android. If you want to chime in, or if somebody knows, if you have an Android and you know how to explain how we can use a story or create multiple stories, that would be super helpful for the people that are listening. So if you have that info, please share it there as well. Let's take a look at some of our posts here. We have Jim from our Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce.
Jim Gallagher, Chino Hills,
you always kind of see what's happening.
Jim Gallagher,
Awesome. We're following Jim.
Chino Hills,
Good job, Jim. Can you hear Jim's audio when I posted that? Could you hear his audio? Okay, cool. All right, Jim is a board member of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. Gail is also a board member of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. So thank you guys for doing that. Let's, it does compete with mine. Let's check it out.
Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to say hi from HR Solutions and Services. I'm learning all about how to communicate with you on Instagram and more to follow.
Well, that was fantastic. Perfect. No, that's fantastic. So that's exactly the type of stuff that we're encouraging you to do. Try using it. Ooh, we tried a face filter. That's going to be great. Let's see if we have any more. Okay. So let's do that now. Let's try one of those first 4. So the choices are doing a, let me go back to our thing here. Doing a live post, creating a post via text, doing a normal post and maybe use a face filter, or doing a boomerang. So doing one of those 4. And the great thing about Instagram stories is that when you're posting these Instagram stories is that it's a 24-hour thing. You can delete it immediately if you don't like it. A lot of those pictures I probably would have deleted and not used if I weren't during this presentation. But those are the things that you want to think about when you're posting these things, is that you can obviously change those and delete them. And they are only there for 24 hours. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to give you all about 3 minutes without me interrupting or interjecting, and let you go from there. And actually, what I'll do is I'll answer questions. So during this time, you can do that, and I'll respond to questions that you might have as we're going through this. Now, Angel has some great feedback on how to use your Android. So if you have an Android and it doesn't look the same as how I'm showing you here through my iPhone, you should definitely take a look at Angel's suggestion in our chat. Okay, Matic says that his stress level is over 8,000. What's the stress? Maybe you can chime in the chat here. Where's the source of stress coming from? Is it from work? Is it from the way that we're doing this? Is it not sure that you're using Instagram the way that it's intended? Share some thoughts there. Let's take a look at his stories. Stress level 8,000. Okay, Cool. Well, let's get back to it. What we'll do is we'll go through some of those examples of things that people have posted, and we can go that way. So let's start here down at the bottom. We'll go back to, so we have Vista Metal Group, which is a sponsor of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. So that's, make sure I follow them. So let's take a look at their story, Vista Medical Group. So they have their story. So they did a really good thing. They used a text post. They tagged me at Zeb Wellborn. They did the hashtag SBCWD, timestamp, Vista Medical Group. And then what I can do, this is another thing you can do, is you can share user-generated content. So I can share what you guys are posting to my feed as well. So I'm going to show that what that looks like. So I'm going to say, I'm going to add this to my story. So that post is there. At the very bottom, you see add this to your story. I click on that, and this is what it looks like. So now I can return the favor. I can say Vista Medical Group. Whenever I get tagged in this is what I normally do for the businesses that we work with. When I'm talking about Instagram and I'm talking about Instagram stories, we probably run about, through my company, we probably run about 40 or 50 different social media accounts. So when we're doing those, usually if somebody tags us, I'm tagging them back, and then just to add something a little clever or whatever it might be, I'm going to use a GIF to throw in there. So when I'm tagging them, I'm using a GIF, and with this medical group, I might just say, let's just make it easy. I'll just say thank you. Thank you, you are awesome. So I throw that up there and make it big by pinching my fingers together. I send that to my feed. Now that goes out to all of my audience as well. So you have them both. So done. Okay, so that's Vista Medical Group, number one. Let's try Pampered Chef. So Gina hasn't done the stories yet. So Gina, get on doing the stories. Let's try Angel. So Angel's got 2 posts going, ready for a ride, tagging Milligan Lake. We saw those already. Gail. I'm taking a class in how to create Instagram stories, hashtag SBCWD, very nice. So we've got that down. So this is a good practice for those of you that if you have, do me a favor and tag in the bottom there if you've never done an Instagram story, or if you have done an Instagram story, and if you feel like, well, I guess my question would be is, how comfortable do you feel doing Instagram stories? Is it something you've never done before? Is it something you do all the time? Is it something where maybe you do it every once in a while? And that way I can get a sense of how I can move from here. Okay, let's go to Gail. We did Hitched for Fun. Check out his stories. Oh, learning about my phone IG stories. So that's perfect. I think that's the face filter. Learning about my phone IG stories feature, SBCWD. Thank you for joining Hitched for Fun. Thank you for participating. That was awesome. Inez. Inez, am I saying that right? Is it Inez? I want to say it's Inez. Oh, there we go. New face filter. Awesome. SBCWD. Looking good. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Peekaboo. They've done a few. So here we go. They're tagging somebody, which is great. Diane Conception Photo. Hashtag SBCWD. Now here's another one that has a filter, Winter Flurry from Instagram. Those are fantastic. Jim, are you doing? Oh, Jim's got some stories going. The happy Jim. Jim, you look so happy. And then there we go. Okay. So we've kind of covered a good amount of those doing the Instagram stories. So that's good. And we'll go back and forth between these. So thank you for doing that. Let's do the second set of examples here to add some variety to our posts. One of the things you want to think about also when doing your Instagram stories is having a healthy variety and not posting the same thing over and over again. So that's why I want to show you the different ways and the different things that you can use on here. So we're going to go through 4 more, which is, so we're going to click in the upper left-hand corner here, your story, and click on my profile picture again. And then, so we've done the boomerang. Layout will let you do pictures of 4 different pictures at the same time. So I can give you all the range of emotions I want to. So I'll just do it as you, hey. That was my sad face. That's my thinking face. This is so awkward. Let's see, what else? That was my angry face. So if I wanted to, I could add all of those. Let's see. I'll do a check. Hashtag SBCWD. Okay, so you included the hashtag in there. We're set. I'm going to add that to my story as well. This is all my range of emotions as we're going through the technical difficulties. So we'll share that one. We can add layout super zoom. So they have different samples here. So if I want it, let's see, I'll do and so when you hold it, essentially what it does is it adds some kind of like animated feature to it. So if we wanted to say, so these are different examples. Let's do, I'll try the surprise one. I haven't tried all of these, but so that'll be what it is. Or let's do the fire one because I did that one the other day. So you're clicking on those and it just kind of like zooms in and does something a little bit different and unique. We have the, so we did the layout, the super zoom, and then the hands-free is where you can just like set it up. And if you push the button, it'll give you 3 seconds to where you can set it up and then walk away and then do your post or your story or whatever it might be. So those are the other examples there. So now let's do it again. Let's use one of those so we can do a layout, a super zoom, or a hands-free feature. Actually, just any one of those that you want to do. But I want us to get in that. I want us to experiment by doing multiple ones because that's also the example of the stories is experimenting with these, using these, and then getting feedback from those based on the stuff that you post. So let's do that now. I'll give you another, this will be like a 3 minutes things to think of an idea. Let's see who can get the most creative with their posts. You don't have to do it of yourself. You can do it of your surroundings, the stuff that you're involved in, anything you want to do to help promote and market your business. And remember this, and also a good thing to remember is that these are also going out to your followers. So it's going out to us because we're going to be following the hashtag. So everybody who's looking at that will be following the hashtag. You can see those posts that we've shown already. And then it's also going to your audience as well. So they'll be seeing your stories as well. So keep that in mind. Now we do have, we're over 20 people in participating on our webinar so far. So let's see how many we have that are participating on the Instagram side. So it looks like you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different people actually doing the Instagram posts. So if you're shy or you're not, or if you're not posting, let me know why. Yeah, and one of the things, so Angel chimed in and said for some reason he created a story, but he wasn't able to tag me in the post. It wasn't populating your name. So if it's not populating your name, I mean, if you know the exact handle, so mine is just my name at Zeb Wellborn. So you can just type that in, and I'm pretty sure that it would go to the tag with me. If you're having challenges, that's the other thing is with all this technology and there's all this stuff that comes in is oftentimes features don't work sometimes for no other reason than there's a kind of a glitch in the system. So or sometimes it's like you and I just followed each other, so there could be a delay in it, and there's never really like a clear answer as to why things don't work the way that they should. But for the most part, you can always figure out how to get to it. Having to download Instagram collage. Yeah, and like you said, these features that I'm showing you on Apple might be totally different when you're looking at your Android phone as well. So those are all things to consider. I think the purpose of today is just to make sure that we're feeling comfortable using those Instagram stories. I will share with you towards the end about some things that you can do to kind of level up your game in terms of building an Instagram following, and talk about how you can like leverage stories in order to promote and grow your business. So I'm gonna go back and just check in on a couple of your profiles and see if we've added any more stories. Not yet on Vista Medical Group. Oops, accidentally. There we go. Gina's got her first story up. Congratulations, Gina. Oh, here we go. Pampered Chef Fun is a hashtag. That's nice. And then she's tagging at SBCWD. So when you're using the hashtag, you want to use the hashtag. The at SBCWD is where you're tagging an actual person. So if you hit the at symbol and you're tagging that actual person, I don't think it's, let me see who that is just to see if it is. Yeah, so Jim, that's where the Russian things comes up. So Gina so she hit the at symbol. The at symbol SBCWD is that Russian thing that you were talking about earlier. So what you want to use when I say hashtag, it's using the pound sign, the hashtag pound sign. When you use that, that makes it available for other people to see that are also using the hashtag, or it should. Currently, we're having issues with that, but that's what's supposed to happen is that you use the hashtag, and then people can find your story when they click on the hashtag. So make sure you use the pound sign. No need to delete it. All you're doing is just you're just tagging. It's not just like tagging the wrong person. They'll be like, oh, this is kind of weird. Why am I getting tagged in this? So you can delete it if you want to, but it's not necessary. All these things are we're experimenting. So no need to stress about it, unless you might not want that Russian person to feel like they're tagged in it. But it was a good post. Gina, great post. Let's check out a few more. Angel. Ooh, lunchtime yet. It's 11:02. He's getting ready for lunch. He did the 4 pictures type thing. That looks awesome. Well done. Good job, Angel. Gail, how did you do? Oh, Gail's got the original post up. Hitched for fun. Ooh, have you used stories? Yes, no, and he did the multiple features there. I like it. Great. That's what I want to see. We want to see that experimentation. So let me show you Hitch for Fun's posts. Got the multiple posts going on. It's got the hashtag, and they're using a poll, which is awesome. The super zoom, very nice. And if you hold it all the way through, it gives like the full dimension of it. So if you hold that super zoom button all the way through, it'll give the full dimension. Jim, let's see how you're doing. Oh, very nice. Jim, very nice. Getting all set there. Oh, all right. Doing a lot of the experimenting. Nice, Jim. Good work. Check out HR Solutions Services. She's got the 1 story up. Okay, cool. So we're experimenting, which is awesome. Let me do one more thing of experimentation. Whoops. And doing postings. So we're going to go back to my story and hit your story. And the great thing about this, this is the other thing. The other reason why you would want to use Instagram stories instead of posting to your feed is that the Instagram algorithms, when you post on your feed, is they only show up your posts to a select amount of people. So it's usually like a 3-hour window. So if within 3 hours, if you post again within 3 hours, they show your first post to less people, they show your second post to less people. So you're reaching less people when you post multiple times on the same post. So with the Chamber of Commerce, or if you're attending any business events or anything like that, when you go to those events, you can take as many pictures as you want at the event, and it's not going to limit your reach in terms of your stories getting in front of people because it's based on your profile picture that they see there at the top. So that's another reason why you would want to use Instagram stories versus using Instagram posts. So if you're attending events, you don't want to post to your feed all throughout the day. You don't want to have a post every hour going through Instagram, because Instagram will limit your reach to your audience. But you can do as many stories as you want. So that's why when we're posting these stories, it's not going to be hurting your algorithm. It's not going to be hurting your reach or exposure through the algorithm. Actually, it's going to be helping you, because you're going to have more people seeing your stuff. So make sure you consider that as well. I still can't get my hashtag in the story to show up in the hashtag search. Yeah, we've been having challenges with that, Aaron. So, so Aaron, in your case, it might just be that your profile is at the private. I kind of walked through that earlier. So just keep that in mind. Oh, and Gail has been posting, but she forgot to use the hashtag, and that's common. That happens all the time, so don't sweat it. When you're posting things, just try to remember to use the hashtag, because that's how we can see it. So every post when you're doing it, try to use the hashtag when you can. And let's go back. So I'm going to go to the next thing that I want us to try to do, which would be, let's do one of these face filter things. I'm going to find out. All right, we'll do this one. Okay. And then I'm gonna kick that sticker that's up there in the bottom, at the top of the middle, because I want to experiment with those polls and questions and countdowns, things that we've kind of showed you before. So you can create a poll, you can create a question, you can create a countdown. I'm gonna create a poll here. I'm gonna say, actually, let's go back. So I don't want to glue the poll, so I'm going to throw that in the trash. I'm going to ask a question. Do you like Instagram? No, let's see. Do you look at Instagram stories more, or feed posts more? Space. Okay, so do you look at Instagram stories more or feed posts more? So that's the question I'm going to be posting. I'll put it down here. Send to your story. Done. What I can also do, so here's another tactic or tip, is you can also share your story to your feed. And so on that last one, and so since we're having a tough time getting people to follow the hashtag, I'm going to post my Instagram story. For some reason, like some videos, I can make sure it's like size it correctly. Sometimes I can't, but just for making sure that we can do this and making sure that people can respond and answer my question, is I'm going to make sure that we put it in the feed. So you'll see it when you type in hashtag SBCWD. Now, I wouldn't recommend using just the hashtag, but I just want to try to be quick on here so you all can engage and interact with it. Here at the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce, and share it. So now you can take a look at that question, and people can respond and engage with those questions on your posts. And so you click on those things, and you can comment below if you need to, or comment through the story. So let's go to, let me check those messages that I got. So one of my friends, Dario, is seeing the post that we're doing. So I'm going to say yes right now in all caps. Thank you, Angel, for reacting to that one.
Hi, my name is Zeb Wellborn. I am the president of Wellborn Media and president of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. I'm excited to be presenting on sharing Instagram stories to promote your business.
Cool. So there we are. Now, if you're commenting on the story, or you're actually doing the post, you just type it in there, and then it gets sent to me. So if you're saying, do you look at Instagram stories more or feed posts more? I'm going to say I personally look at, well, I kind of do both. Also, I'll just say both. Then I hit the send, sent, and it gets sent, and then it's sent to me as a message in my profile. So one of the things you want to keep in mind about Instagram stories is the purpose of all of these things is to engage people and to engage your audience or your potential customers. And so it does give you some insights on the types of people that are posting. And so if you ask those questions, about how to get people to follow you or how to, just asking those questions, is you get people starting to engage with you, and that's when you can have those business, and that's when you start to develop those relationships to build those business relationships. So that's what you want to use your Instagram stories for, is just thinking about how can I connect with my target audience so they get to feel like they know me a little bit better and have an opportunity to engage with me. One of the things that happens in social media is that we post things and you don't necessarily know that people are seeing it. I'm pretty active on social media, so what I think is kind of an interesting or a funny thing is when I'm out and about and meeting people is that even yesterday I was a keynote speaker at a conference on how to place workers into the workforce. And so I was speaking in this large room, and I mentioned Chino Hills Connections, which is a Facebook group here in the Chino Valley. And I mentioned that group, that I participate in that group, and one of the ladies raised her hand. She goes, "That's where I know you from. I was thinking you look so familiar, and that's where I knew you from, was that post." So from that Facebook group. And so what happens when you start posting on social media is that people recognize you, and they see you and they see the post. But when they don't engage with you, you don't know who those people are or what they are. So you want to encourage people to do that so that you can also connect with them and help service them with your business, your product, your services. So that's something you want to think about for sure. And so here's another cool example. Gail has been starting posting her stories. She's shifted into my stories feed. So she is now at one of my top candidates to check out her Instagram stories. Oh, and it looks like she's posting some great pictures from a recent trip to the beach, it looks like. So that's awesome. Well done, Gail. And so now I'm starting to see her posts because we just connected today on Instagram, and now she's posting her stories. I've been following the stories in the hashtag. Now I'm seeing her posts on a consistent basis. And that's exactly what you want with your social media presence. Okay.
My name is Zeb Wellborn. I am the president of
Let me take a look. Let's go back to our hashtag and see how we're doing. Oh, Razel is in here. So Razel, she's a member of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining the webinar. I appreciate it. So let's see if she's done her stories. So she was posting, so these are 24 hours. So it says, if you look at the very top, it shows you how long ago she's posted. So these were posted about a day ago. So she's been using Instagram stories pretty regularly. So let's see if she posted any for today. Oh, here we go. SBCWD. She changed the hashtag a little bit, added the face filters, which is awesome. She used the layout feature, experimented with that. That's fantastic. So let's all make sure we connect with Razel on there. Okay, cool. Gina's done another one, available until February 29th or while supplies last. That's a great call to action. Let's go back to Angel. Angel, no new ones yet. Let's try Gail. Oh, we did Gail just a second ago. Okay, more from Jim, a little boomerang there. Okay, cool. So those are some examples of things that you can post inside of Instagram. Let me show you another thing, which this will show you how you can keep your stories there for a longer period, actually forever. I mean, forever. I'll show you what I do in my personal profile. Business profile would be different, but I'll show you what I do in my personal profile, and we can go from there. So what happens if you visit my profile page? If you're looking at my profile page, what you'll see is, oh, it's not shifting. Okay, cool. There we go. Okay. So what you see on my profile is you'll see it's called the highlights section. So the highlights section, if you look down below, you'll see it right there where it says family, activities, business. So it's right above my feed and right below the description of my profile. So that's what you would call highlights. Now, for me personally, I've kind of like identified 5 pillars, I guess you would say, or 5 things that I want to try and accomplish with my life currently. So those things are the things that I find most important. 5 rocks, what people call them different things. But it's family, it's first and foremost. I do a lot of activities. I love to help business, and I put Rotary in there, but being of service, and then educating and learning. So I love to educate, I love to learn, I love to do Rotary, I love to be of service, I love to help businesses become more successful. I love playing, like golf was the kind of the thing that I've been involved in my whole life, but I also play soccer and do a lot of sports, play a lot of sports, and then my family. So those are things that I want to have prominent. And so what I can do is I can add these highlights to my feed. So if anybody wants to go in and learn more about me and see the stories that we posted, because remember, these stories are only open for 24 hours. So if you don't save those, they go away. So if you do want those things to live longer than just the 24 hours, you can include them in the highlights section. So that's what I'll show you how to do. So if you can add a new highlight, you hit the button, you add new, and then what you'll see here is you'll see all of the posts, all the stories posts that you posted. So they do save those for you, but it's only for you after the 24-hour period. So then you can go through and I can add these things. I can create a new story. So if I wanted to, I can say, let's just say I'm going to do all the ones today. So I'll put Instagram stories, maybe Instagram story, add. And now when anybody visits my profile, is they can click on the Instagram story feature and they'll see all the stuff that you and I have done today on my particular feed, if that's something that I want to share with folks. And so when you click on it, now it shows it just like this, but this will stay there forever, or until you take it off, or until Instagram changes what they look like. So you can see all of those things together if I want. So this is like the story feature of it together. What you can also do is you can move it to, like you can put multiple stories. So this is also applies to education. So on the education side, so I want to add these same pictures into education. So I'm going to hit the more button there. I'm going to click edit highlight. And then I'm going to go to my archive section, which are all those posts that we've already posted. So I want to include all of these things inside of that. Done. And now those posts also go into the education section. So these are things that I've posted with my kids. That's my son and daughter. We like to read together. That's a book my wife wrote for them. And now it has the posts that we've created today. So those are things that you can do in order to save your Instagram stories for a longer period of time. Make sure that more people can see them. Does anybody have any questions about the highlights feature? Okay. So let me go through, and what I'm going to do now is now that we've experimented, I want to encourage you to, you know what, if you always want to stay connected. So one of the things that I love to do is I love to connect other business owners with each other, because I know that if we all get connected, we can help each other's businesses grow and expand and have a larger impact in our communities. So we've had people that have commented on the Instagram posts. Let's follow each other, support each other. And whenever you post, if you use that hashtag SBCWD, it will show up here. So if there's something you want the people that have been involved in our webinar today to follow up with, you can go through and check out the posts that are on that hashtag, and you can find those, you can share those, and hopefully later today we'll see the stories feed show up, which will show all of the highlights that everybody has posted in their stories all in one place. So with that, oh, here's another tip. We had some questions at the beginning. We're talking about, let me scroll up just to make sure I am answering the right question. Okay, so we had a question about analytics. We had, what's the best way to gain more traction and generate likes with a new Instagram account? And so so that's actually something I will be covering in the next section of this. I'm going to be walking through some ideas of ways that you can incorporate Instagram stories and get your mind thinking about ways that you can use it to promote your business and how to gain that traction. And then we had a question about analytics. Particularly, I wonder why sometimes the second post has more views than the first on an Instagram story, when everyone should be seeing the first story before getting to the second. And that's a good question. To be honest with you, I've never noticed that on my profile. My profile always starts where the first image always has the most views on mine. So I'm not sure why that is. That's something that I'm sure we can Google at some point and find out, or if anybody else has some insight on that, we can. I know that whenever I've looked at my stories, it's always the first story has the most, and then it goes down from there. But maybe there's something else to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift away from my phone, and let me just do one last check on our team. Okay, so we'll just let's do one more thing. All right, cool. Okay. So good job, everybody, on the posting side of things. Now we'll walk through some tactics or some tips or some things that I can do to help you out. How do you add? Okay, so Aaron asked, how do you add to an existing highlight? So again, we're going to go to our main page. You're going to click on the highlight itself that you want to update. So we're going to say the Instagram stories one.
Hi, my name is Zach Wellborn.
There's the little button down there on the bottom right-hand side that says more. So you click on more, and then you click on edit highlight. And then what you have is you have your selected. So these are ones that are in your story, and you want to go to your archive. And so your archive will have all of the pictures that you have and videos that you've taken for your Instagram stories. And so then you can tab those, and those automatically go into your highlights. Okay, cool. That I can help with that, Aaron. Okay, let me go back to our presentation. I'm going to share with you my computer screen now. Actually, I'm going to go back to this. Present. Okay, so here's so remember, try your best to use the hashtag SBCWD. Any postings that you're doing today, or if you want to stay connected with those of us that are engaged. I do speak regularly with the San Bernardino County Workforce Development Board. They also have lots of great training programs. That's not something I mentioned earlier, but they do have lots of great training programs in a lot of other areas other than just marketing. So I know they do human resources stuff. So they have all sorts of things that they put together for businesses to help those businesses grow and expand. So make sure you just check them out. So here's some things that you would say that we would say that we would use. The stories are a great way to use these types of posts. So here's an example. If you have a flyer, what I've always told people when I speak about social media is don't post flyers because for a variety of reasons. Is number one is Facebook and these social media, their algorithms pick up text. And so anything that's really text heavy, they don't show to their audience. They show it to a significantly smaller amount of people. Also, Facebook and Instagram, they're very photographic oriented and not necessarily flyer oriented. So posting up a flyer also gets lower engagement than if you were to post an organic photo or an organic video. So flyers don't typically do very well on Instagram on their feed or on Facebook on their feed either. So this is a great opportunity for you to post those flyers that you've created because they don't really place that. There's not a priority on text for the posts inside of this. So adding text is okay in the stories feature. So you can post the flyers in your stories feature, and that's an easy way to get people engaged. You can also add those little components which will help bring it to life a little bit, like the GIFs or whatever it is, or the stickers, or adding some kind of components that will help people take advantage of that. So that's something you want to think about is thinking about how you can use your promotional posts. One of the things they'll tell you all the time through social media is you don't want to have every post be selling. And so this is a great way to throw in a selling post, but keep your regular stuff, your regular flow of content, talking about your organization, your business, letting your customers get to know you, and then throwing out an ask or a post in that way. So doing this is a great way to do promotional posts. And actually, just want to bring up the chat here. Can everybody see my screen, by the way? If you can do me a favor and type yes if you can see my, okay, good. Okay, let's go next. Behind the scenes. So another great thing is, like I mentioned earlier, is that with stories, you don't have to be as well crafted or have it well thought out or have the best photo ever. The purpose behind stories is you're doing them in the moment. So just like we were doing today, we're doing them in the moment. They're very live. I wasn't say that I'm thrilled with the post that I personally put together today, but that's the whole point of it. It's the whole point of it is that you're showing what's kind of currently happening and letting people see that your story, letting people learn what you're about. So it shows behind the scenes. So kind of the post that I want to show as an example of that is I was doing some work at a coffee shop, writing up a presentation that I was giving for a previous San Bernardino County Workforce Development Workshop. I tagged the different organizations that I was including in the presentation, and then I talked to them about putting that together. But I wanted to show what it looked like for me putting those things together in the back end, so that people would be more likely to sign up for the workshop, attend, listen. And by the way, I do want to say thank you. So those of you guys that found out for this workshop for myself, thank you for coming in and participating in this with me. It means a lot. It also gives you an opportunity to share user-generated content. So this is a post at Anya Dental. They had their grand opening and ribbon cutting. So I came there for the grand opening and ribbon cutting, obviously as the president of the chamber. So they did that. They took a picture with me. They tagged me in the post. And then it's real easy for me to share that post with my audience. So I shared that in my story, talking about how we're helping this business grow as well. So you want to definitely share user-generated content. Using hashtags, and so this is another example of using hashtags in your post. We already talked about that, but you can do the thing that I'll say. So there was a question, can you do multiple hashtags? Absolutely. You can do as many as you want in there. Just include the hashtags. When we talked about building a following, that's an easy way to start building a following, is starting to use relevant hashtags for your posting. So this was me at a golf tournament down in San Diego. It was the very first tournament that Tiger Woods came back from his injury. So I was there to watch the tournament, and he was in his Sunday red. So sometimes when I post for businesses, is I'm usually using hashtags where I feel like their core customers would find that content, like they'd be clicking around searching those hashtags just to check out what's kind of happening. So Arroyo Trabuco Golf Club, they're a client of mine down in Mission Viejo, and I know Gail has been there. So when I post for them, I'm usually using the hashtag like OC Golf or Orange County or Mission Viejo, or so I'm using words golf, the hashtag golf, golfers, golfing, California golf. I'm using the cities, the region that they're in. So Mission Viejo, Orange County, I'm kind of connecting the two. So OC Golf has quite a few people posting to it. And so that's how people find stuff, is they'll see a hashtag that's, oh, like that looks interesting. Maybe I want to see more posts about that. So they click on it and do it. So some people use on hashtags to be found. Other times you're using your hashtags to kind of be a little bit creative and kind of, I don't know if funny is the right word, but just like tiger sighting is, you wouldn't think of when you say tiger sighting, you wouldn't click on that and expect to see pictures of Tiger Woods. You would probably expect to see pictures of tigers, maybe, I don't know. So that would be an example of, or Sunday Red is another example of, he always wears red, the shirt red on Sunday. And so that's something else that's very, but those are things where people might find you in those because they're like, oh, that's a little bit out of place in this feed. So if you click on tiger sighting and it's all tigers, and then all of a sudden you see a picture of my face with this golfer in the background, you might say, oh, I wonder what that is, you know? So that's something else where I'll get creative with hashtags, and then I'll also use the generic ones that people find you for their stuff. That's a great question. So I'm pretty sure that's Jenny. So Jenny asked the question, how do you maintain professional while still being fun on the stories? Is this more intended for B2C, or can this work B2B? And my response to that would be, it all depends on who your audience is. So the same thing, I mean, it's identifying who your target market is and what they're looking for and how you can service them. I could just really speak from my own business, right? It makes sense for people to feel like they know, like, and trust me, for them to want to do business with me. And so a real easy way for me to get people to know, like, and trust me is to be very upfront, you know, like social media wise, doing videos, doing stuff like this, webinars, and having people see me so that they do develop that know, like, and trust factor. And when you're talking about business or doing those other things, what stands out, I'll say, is that everybody's getting promoted to. And one of the things I always talk about when we're doing presentations is, if I were to ask you, when you get an email from somebody, do you know immediately whether it's an email you need to open, whether it's spam and you just throw it directly into the trash, or whether it's something you need to save for later, right? So we all internally are filtering out these sales messages. So if I get an email from somebody, and you might have seen when I was showing my screen, all of the different emails that I was getting during our presentation, but I know immediately which ones I just delete, which ones I keep. Here's another question for you. How many of you watch commercials when you watch TV? Because I know I don't watch commercials. What I'll do is I'll go home, I'll record it on my DVR, or I'll watch Netflix, or some other thing. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't like watching commercials. I don't want to be sold to. And so when you're posting on social media, the thing to do is not to try to sell people your products and services. The thing to do is to get them to feel like they're a part of your company and engage with you. So if you're focusing on engagement, that's the best way to draw people into your company, your organization, whatever it is, because you're not being sold to on a consistent basis. It is okay to sell. That's the whole point of this, is you want to sell and grow your business, but we're getting sold to all the time. So that's the one thing that I would say is, when people say professional, usually that kind of means that they're just giving sales stuff. So what I would say is show the back end more. Show your personality more. Every organization has their own personality or what they're trying to accomplish, and that's what you want to show
through social media, because the more you can show your personality of your people, the passion that you have for the stuff that you do, that rubs off, and other people see that, business prospects see that, and that's what is selling people today. Now, what is selling people, it's not flyers, it's not promotional stuff, it's people who are connecting with somebody on the other end because of their message resonates. So I don't know if that answers your question, but fun is not the right answer. You don't necessarily have to be fun. And all the stuff that I'm posting, I wouldn't say that I post stuff that's considered to be fun. I post stuff that I feel like my audience would appreciate. So it doesn't have to be fun. It could be engaging. It could be entertaining. It could be a variety of different things. So just some things to consider about. So you can still maintain that professional profile, but just by giving an internal view of what it is that your company stands for, what it is you do. Like in Rotary, here's a perfect example. So when I was the president of the Chino Rotary Club, we doubled our membership, and we doubled our membership because we were using social strategies. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I also wrote a book. The book is called The Social Golf Course. It's about how to do social media for golf courses. And the main thing that I'm trying to teach organizations or businesses is that the world is different today than it was before the advent of social media, before the advent of phones and that type of stuff. So influencing people's minds are on how can I post something that other people, like, so this is how kids think, right? Kids think, how can I post something so that other people think I'm cool, or that other people think that what I'm doing is interesting and engaging enough, because that's kind of like our currency. So the currency is engagement. How can I make sure that other people are clicking the like button, following my account, sharing my stuff? How do I do that? And that's the thing where, so with the Chino Rotary Club, what we did was I wanted to make sure that we did service stuff. So what our club used to be was we used to just listen to a speaker. We would write checks and give checks to people who were in need, like nonprofits. So that was what the club was. We had speakers, gave checks, and what I switched it to was we want to do hands-on work. And the main reason why I wanted to do hands-on work in our community was so that we could take pictures, that we could shoot video, and then I can share those video on our social media pages and have people say, oh, this is cool. So that wasn't fun. I wasn't doing like, oh, here's like, we're doing lots of fun stuff. I was like, no, we're giving back to the community. We're serving food at food pantries. We're putting clothes together for homeless kids. We're doing that kind of stuff. And so we videoed those, and they weren't fun, but they were impactful. And so people were interested in that, wanted to learn more, and that's how we grew our membership. Hope that answered your question. Tagging the location. So I mentioned I'm trying to get our members of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce to use the hashtag #ShopCVChamber, because I want our members to start to shop with our other members for the main reason that our members are supporting our business community. And so when they're supporting our business community, it makes our whole community better. And so that's why I'm telling them to use that hashtag #ShopCVChamber. So when you use that, other people can see it. But then I'm also tagging the location. So at the bottom there, I had my birthday lunch at the shops at Chino Hills, at California Pizza Kitchen. And so those are things where when I tag those people, they can see it. And thank you, Gail. Yeah, I had a pretty strong beard when I posted that one. Cool. And here are some other things you can do to help with your social media posts or with your Instagram stories. You can link to Instagram. Excuse me. I mentioned some of these things before. You can link to your Instagram TV so that if you do an Instagram TV video, and for those of you that aren't sure, the Instagram TV video is a long, it's a video it's like a vertical video. Oh, that was the other, it's a vertical video that shows up inside of Instagram. And so that's where you can share, so you can encourage people to click on a link to go to that video, or maybe that video is your sales video. And so if you have all of these links that are pointing people to your Instagram TV video that drives them to your sales video, that would be a good idea. The other thing you want to keep in mind with the stories is when you hold your phone, as I was showing you today, all of the pictures, all the videos were done vertically. So the stories feature, it shows up vertically in your phone. So you don't want to turn your phone horizontal when you're posting the stories. I do that. I do that just because I run out of time sometimes, or I want to post something that happened throughout the day and I took it horizontally. But what you want to think about in posting on any kind of social media platform is, what is the norm for that platform? So the Instagram stories is vertical. The Instagram feed can be either vertical or horizontal. They prefer squares though. So if you ever notice, they try to cut it into a square. So that's where, if you're using squares, it's going to be much more prominent. And even when you're looking at the feed from the outside, it automatically turns it into a square. So they're going to place priority over that. Facebook, I feel like, is definitely not vertical. It's much more horizontal, especially in their news feed and video feed. So keep that in mind when you're kind of holding your phone, is that you kind of hold your phone different ways based on where you're going to be posting the content. And I don't do this just because I post so much in so many different areas, but you should do it. So you should be thinking about where you're going to be posting it, and then making sure that your framing is set in the platform that it's intended. You can run contests. So that's a great thing, a 24-hour contest. This is another great way to do these time-sensitive offers as well. So if you're saying, hey, we're running a special promotion, you don't put it on your newsfeed because that stays there forever. You put it on the 24-hour thing. Say, hey, if you want to come to this event, you have 24 hours to do it, and then it's up here, and then it's gone. So make sure you do that. So you have this. You can run contests, which is another cool way to get people engaged immediately. The great thing about stories is it's also instantaneous, so people will see it. And I had some on my feed, or you guys probably saw it on my phone, was like Angel was sending me messages. I think Gail had sent me a message. Vista Medical Group had sent me a message. And so those are messages that we were all receiving on our, that I received in real time. And so those are things that we can do there. Encourage DMs. So you want to tell people to DM you. DM you means send you a message, a private message that's kind of off. It's not public. It's going directly to you, and you can have a one-way conversation. So that's a great way to get people to chat about this. So you guys are all following my Instagram account. If you have any questions about anything I covered or didn't cover, or want to have answered after the fact, shoot me a DM. DM me, and I will answer those questions for you as best as I can. You want to do, so through Instagram stories, you can do the shopping. So they have a shopping feature there. So if you have products, you can actually post your products using Instagram stories, have them click on the sales button, on the shopping button, and it takes them to the store. Ideally, the sequence of photos is you want to kind of, ideally, that's why they call them stories, is ideally you're trying to tell a story and kind of walking people through a story with a bunch of different visual features. To me, so that's what you want to think about when you're posting those, especially when you're posting multiple stories. It's like, here's a story of the event that I went to. So I went to a ribbon cutting. I got there. I met the owner, take a picture with the owner. We do the ribbon cutting. We have a video of the ribbon cutting. We have some other chamber folks that are there. We all take a picture together. And that's a great way of kind of sequencing. Here is my personal story of this event that I attended. And so you can do it for your business or for anything, any kind of activity that you're involved in. You want to make it personal. Show the things that you're doing in and outside of your business. Use a call to action. So it could be DM me. It could be go to my website. It could be all sorts of things. And then you do want to be consistent. The way that you show up at the top left-hand side when people are looking at your stories is that you're posting consistently. And so Instagram will prioritize those who are posting consistently versus those that post every so often. And then let me go to one more thing. Let me do I'm going to go back to my phone here. Actually, maybe not yet. I'll do it in a second. So follow me. You guys have already seen the Instagram, obviously. So it's at Zeb Wellborn. My name is pretty unique, so you can find me on any platform. I use pretty much all the social medias. Feel free to connect with me on whichever one you feel most comfortable with. This is the time to ask questions. So if you have any questions, ask down below. I'm going to share with you one more tip at the end, and this tip is, how do you know you're doing your Instagram stories well, and how can you leverage it to actually connect with those business relationships? So I will be sharing that with you in just a minute. I also created a little document for you, which kind of just basically runs through everything we talked about today. If you want that document, you can go here, wellbornmedia.com/notes. And it has a printout. I'm not sure if Jenny might be sending that out to you. I sent it to her, but if not, you can get it here. wellbornmedia.com/notes. And we had a question, is the only place for a website on the profile? And yes, that was something that I forgot to mention. So I'll walk through that on the phone, as well as, let me see if we have the, okay. And then also, I'm gonna, in the chat box, I gotta find it, give me 1 second. I'm gonna include the link to the survey. So below, so in the chat box is a link to the survey of this webinar presentation. Definitely do me a favor, the more responses we have in that, the better. So if you can just fill that out the best of your ability, the link is there in the chat box. And while you're doing that, I'm going to answer that question about including the website and the profile, and then show you the one tip that I would use to really enhance social media and take it, or your Instagram stories, to the next level. So I'm going to bring that up on my AirPlay right now. Okay, so you can all see my screen again, right? Gail, which link isn't working? Is it the link to the survey or the link on the Wellborn Media page? I just went to the Wellborn Media page. It was working fine for me. I'll share the link down here. If it's not working, just shoot me and just send me an email. Gail, I know you have my email. I'm going to include my email here down at the bottom, or in the chat section. So you can email me and say notes, and I will email you the notes at the end of the later today. So just email me, say I want the notes from the day's presentation, and I will make sure they get to you. And then the last thing I'll show you, so you can all see my phone, right? Can you all see my phone on the screen? Say yes, just so I know that. Okay, cool. So here's the last thing I'll go over is we're looking at the stories. So what you'll see here on the stories in the bottom left is how many people have seen my story. So in this particular, I have 30. So you have 30 different people. I have these people that have seen it. So I know that these people have at least seen my story. This gives me a really good idea of who's kind of following my stuff and engaging my account. So if I have a customer or somebody that I'm considering, or that we're targeting to become a customer, or whatever it might be, you can see the names of those people who are following your stuff, and you can identify those, and you can reach out directly to them, even whether they respond to your story or not. Ideally, what you want to get is you want to get people to engage with you, and they usually have those at the top. So let's see who's, I know somebody engaged with me on this post. Seen by 25. So we have these ones here. And so we're seeing all of those people that have engaged with me, and it just gives me a real sense of who's actually following my stuff, because over time, especially, you're going to have people that where they're kind of like I mentioned, the more you watch of somebody's stuff, the more they move to the left of the feed. The less people watch of it, the less likely they'll see you. So you can get a really good sense of who's kind of following your stuff throughout your Instagram stories. The other thing I will share is the other thing you want to consider is the only place on Instagram where you can include a link, unless you have over 10,000 followers, is in your profile. So if you look up here in my profile, currently, I'm going to edit it. So right there, it says edit profile, edit profile. And here's what I have in my profile. I have my website, which is SoCalCharityGolf.com, and then I actually should update that because that was when I was promoting so I'll add something that says click at the link in the bio. And so when we have our SoCal Charity Golf Tournament, I shared the video. I said click the link in the bio, and then this is where my link in the bio is. It's here. So you kind of don't really need to play with that until you have a good amount of followers. But once you do have that good amount of followers, that's where you would put your stuff on the website. And then the pros, what they'll do is they have this link really linked to everything in their business. They have a really strong landing page. So anybody who's looking into their business or organization, they click on that link. And then you can link to other stuff if you want on that page. You can have a nice landing page telling people who you are and what you're about. So that's kind of the end of our webinar. We had a 10 to 12 kind of appointment here. I want to thank you for participating in this. I want to thank you for being involved with San Bernardino County Workforce Development. I also want to thank San Bernardino County Workforce Development for giving me this opportunity to share these insights with you. I hope we get connected on the Instagram posts. I hope you guys get connected with each other and that we all continue to grow with one another. Please feel free to email me. I saw a couple of messages that came in asking for the notes. Please send me those messages if you need the notes, and I'll be happy to send them to you. My email address is zeb@wellbornmedia.com, and you can find me anywhere at Zeb Wellborn. Thank you all, and have a great rest of the day.